Good morning, students. Today we're going to be talking about place value. So what they want you to know in lesson 1 basically is that as your number grows, if it changes place value getting bigger, then each one is 10 times more than the one before it. Okay, so if I have a 1 and I multiply that times 10, then 1 times 10 is 10, okay? And since it's getting 10 times bigger, it's moving in the place value. The 0 is here to hold the 1's place. Otherwise, it would just say 1, and that's not true. 1 times 10 is not 1. 1 times 10 is 10. So if I have 10, and I multiply it by 10, then it is going to go up 1 place value again. So 10 times 10 would be 100. Back to 1 here. 1 times 100 goes 2 spaces because 10 times 10, that would be 100. And a little trick that you can do to help you with this is when you're multiplying by groups of 10, like I'm doing here, I can count the number of zeros, and that tells me how many spaces, how many place values it needs to grow. So there's 1, 2 zeros, so that means that it needs to move 1, 2 place values. Now the opposite is true as well. If I'm dividing, then my number's getting smaller. So instead of going to the left where it gets bigger, I'm going to be moving place values to the right. Okay? So let's do a new problem. Let's say we have 100 and we're dividing by 10. Then that means it's going to go down 1 place value because the tens is 10 times less than hundreds. And I can use my little trick and there's 1 0, so that tells me we're going to go 1 place value. And we're going to the right because our number is getting smaller because we're dividing. Now you may be asking, well, what about this other 0? Well, that other 0 would be here. But you don't have to write the 0 if all that's after the decimal is the 0. But technically, it is here. So let's use this with a different number. Let's say we have 432 and 6/10. And we're going to multiply by 100. Well, I have 1, 2 zeros in my multiplication there. Okay, and it's a group of 10. That's why I can do this. Okay, so I know that each one of these is going to move 2 place values. And I have an empty spot here that I have to hold its place, so I'm going to put a 0. So 432 and 6/10 times 100 equals 43,260 and 0/10. I hope this helps.